welcome to the new episode on Eclipse Day of Wow, You Can Cook. And we are super excited today because in honor of the eclipse, we are doing two things. We have our moon dish, which is our special pudding recipe, and we have our sun dish, which is our ham salad. Take it away, Dr. G.
I think that is so clever, Tracy. That was not my idea, everybody. That was Tracy's. That is clever. Because I picked two recipes that didn't have to be cooked, and she decided to take it a step further. So thank you. That's pretty darn clever. That's pretty cute. Okay, so let's start with a ham salad. So you're going to take, if you got the 1.5 pounds of the deli ham, I have mine cut on a 3, which is a thicker slice, and I just cut it in small chunks so that you end up being able to blend it easier. Okay, otherwise it just doesn't blend. It just, clogs up the blender or whatever you're using, the food processor. In the notes at the bottom of this, I said that if you, like me, like it like a mousse, I like it kind of silky like a mousse. It spreads easy. I don't like it chunky like the picture that I put on the recipe so much. So if you want it smooth, you can dump all the ingredients into your food processor. If you want it chunky, then separate the mayonnaise like I did here. So we're going to start with the ham, which is 1.5 pounds is what the recipe said. And you're going to go ahead and, like I said, I use a number 3. If you add a hard-boiled egg, I don't always, but it's really good with it. If you add a hard-boiled egg, then just chop up the egg in a couple of big pieces or maybe in quarters, so that it mashes easier. Chop up your celery so that it's, again, in pieces that will blend in your food processor.
Gloria, how much of each?
1 hard-boiled egg. Thank you. 2 stalks of celery, roughly chopped, so that way you can blend them. Hi, Ronnie. Welcome.
Hi.
Then the onions or shallots or chives. I do not do well digestion-wise with raw onions. I eat onions and everything. I buy them by the huge bags, but they can't be raw. However, I can handle chives that are raw. So whatever you decide to use, adjust the quantity. I put 2 teaspoons of chopped onions or shallots, okay, or chives. But if you can eat a lot of onion and you like it, put more in. Just put it in big chunks so that you can blend it in your food processor. Okay, now, the recipe, the way I wrote it, says to go ahead and, do any of you want it real chunky, or do you want it like a mousse like I make it?
Mousse.
Speak up. Like a mousse?
Like chunky.
Yeah, like chunky.
Chunky.
I figured you'd be
Chunky.
Chunky.
Chunky, okay, all right. So if it's chunky, then you're going to put all of the hard, I call it the hard ingredients. So that's your ham, 1 hard-boiled egg, your celery, your onions, or chives, whatever you're using, and black pepper. Now, I like a lot of black pepper, so just put in as much as you like. You can always add more, and then pulse it. So you're using a food processor, pulse it. You don't want to just beat it because it'll be a mousse like I like it. So if you pulse it, you get nice big chunks. They're still blended, but they're not pulverized, I guess is the good word, right? I like mine like if any of you like a liver pate, that I love pate foie gras. Not that you have to love liver, but I like that consistency of the foie gras. So that's the consistency I like this. Put all of that into your food processor and make sure that you know how sometimes you have to open it and use a spatula to get all the ingredients off the sides so that you have an even blend, and then pulse it again till you get it to the chunkiness that you like. Like Linda Magna right away said, chunky. Okay, so if you like it chunky, don't blend it too much. Just get it to where it is the consistency of the chunks. Boy, that's not good English, but you know what I'm saying. The consistency that you like. And then when you do that, then in a separate bowl, you mix your liquid. So those were basically the solids. And then you're going to mix the 3/4 cups of mayo. You can use avocado mayonnaise. You can use mayonnaise if you're vegan, whatever you want to use for a mayonnaise. And then 3 teaspoons of sweet pickle relish. Now, if you're going to use a sweet pickle, then in whole, just cut them in big pieces so that you can later on put them in the blender. But you've got to make them in big pieces. If they're going in the food processor, you've got to chop them up really fine if you're going to just add them with your mayonnaise. If you're not going to blend that because you don't want a mousse. I love sweet pickle relish in this, which is the secret ingredient. So then you use a tablespoon, not a teaspoon, of Dijon mustard. Now, there were times I didn't have Dijon. Now that's not the case because I never buy the yellow mustard, the French's type. And I put in the French's and it wasn't good. So the Dijon with the white wine is what gives it the flavor. And then add more pepper to taste. Okay, so this is in that separate bowl of what I call the liquids, the soft stuff. Mix it all up. And now you can add it to your ham mixture because you've got the ham in the consistency that you want it, in the chunks, the size you want it.
But wait,
When it's
stir it
yes.
into the ham. They don't add it to the food processor, correct?
Right, that's what I said. Stir it. I said stir in the ham mixture. Yes, thank you. You keep stirring it until everything is well blended. Taste it for pepper. Now the ham, because you're buying a deli ham, even if you bought one and cooked it, is pretty salty. So make sure you taste it for salt. Don't add salt in a ham salad ever until you've tasted it. At the very end, when everything's put together and you've blended it all with your hands, with your spatula or your spoon. Then I cover it and chill it. Now you can chill it just an hour or two, but I do mine overnight. Does that surprise anybody? I do it overnight because the flavors really blend. And then when I serve it, you can serve it so many ways. Don't limit it to a dip. It's great as a sandwich. I know Brian took it as a sandwich to his therapy last week and said it was absolutely delicious. You can put some sprouts, Tracy, like you and I are doing now, sprouting our greens. Some sprouts are delicate. And the reason I'm saying that is if you're doing a sandwich or a salad, and you're going to put ham is heavy. So when you can use sprouts, they're not only so healthy for you and tasty, but they're light. They're a lighter type of green so that you're not competing with the heaviness of the ham. You want to taste the ham, okay? So any kind of sprouts, if you're sprouting or that you buy some sprouts, clover or whatever. Clover is one of my favorite, and so are radishes. Have any of you had radish sprouts? Have you sprouted them yourself? Aren't they good, Linda? They add that peppery.
They're spicy.
They're spicy, yeah.
Yeah,
I like
They're
it.
spicy.
In the mix.
I like it because I obviously can't eat spicy stuff. But that adds that pepperiness, that spiciness without having to add anything that in my case would induce inflammation. So if you haven't tried sprouting radishes, try it. It's delicious. Have you done it yet, Tracy?
Yeah, I love it.
You like it because I know you like spicy. Good. I like clover and that mixed together. I usually will sprout smaller amounts of each so that I can make my own mix depending on what I'm going to put it in. So then you cover and chill it. That's as simple as it is. You can put it on a piece of gluten-free bread or a bagel. A baguette is delicious with it. When I've done it in a baguette and served it as an appetizer, you know, the baguette's not very big. I go ahead and put a piece of goat cheese on top of the baguette and put it under the broiler for just a little bit and then put the cold salad on top. It's amazing. I love goat cheese. I use it for a lot. I have another recipe I'm going to give all of you on another day when we do two things that don't really have to be cooked. And it's a dip with goat cheese that you actually put in the oven, but it's a very short period of time. So don't think of it as just, oh, it's a dip or, oh, it's a salad mixture. How many of you are my age and you remember the deviled egg in the little white cans with a white wrapper? the aluminum cans with the white wrapper. Sandy's going. The deviled ham was delicious, but I could never figure out when I was a child. Do you remember that, Ronnie? They were little cans with a white paper wrapper.
And I think it
and
had
was-
a little devil
Yeah,
on it. For
it
deviled
did.
ham.
It did, Nancy. Thank you. And I could never figure out. I loved it. And my grandmother would say, we got to figure out why you get a migraine every time you have deviled ham. And of course, this was in the, in the 50s, never dawning on us that it was full of synthetic things, including MSG. That's why it tasted so good. When I served this ham salad to people that remember the old deviled ham and loved it, they say, this is twice as good as the deviled ham was. And we all thought it was so good. What makes it good is the MSG. I was in a store yesterday buying briefly in a little Mexican market that has some great spices. And Magna will relate to this because I told her where to get the little bags of spices. And I went yesterday to get some in a hurry before all the traffic, and picked up the little shaker of Accent because the shelf was full and everybody was grabbing the Accent as they were grocery shopping. And I turned around purposely out loud and said to Brian, you realize Accent is 100% pure monosodium glutamate, which is a neurotoxin and kills brain cells. In the 60s, when I got married, I used Accent on everything because it was the thing to do. It gave everything a beautiful aroma, and the flavor was so intense and so good. Well, now we know why. No wonder I had migraines that whole time. So just remember that if you see any, and I said it loud, and you could see a couple of ladies that didn't speak English, and I purposely repeated it in Spanish. I thought, this is my humanitarian project for the day. So I turned around and said to them in Spanish that it was, and they went, oh, and put it back on the shelf. So I figure I did my good deed for the day. Okay, somebody's showing, Jill, are you showing your salad? Okay, see, she likes it chunky.
Wow.
Magda? Oh, wow, that's beautiful. Have you tried it yet?
Yeah.
Now, what about the pickle juice? Here's the end comment.
Juice.
Yeah, if you don't put the pickle juice in, you don't get that depth. So now that it's all mixed, now add some pickle juice to your liking. I like quite a bit of it. Stir it up really well, again, with your hand, not in a mixer or food
How much
processor.
pickle juice does the recipe have on it?
The recipe has, hold on, because it's so hard for me because I just cook. A half a teaspoon.
Oh.
And if it wasn't for Tracy keeping me in my lane, I'd forget. It's a half a teaspoon. But to be honest, when I made this exactly with 1.5 pounds, I used a tablespoon because I kept adding and it wasn't enough. And I added more and I put more. So the pickle juice, people forget about. And that's what gives it that depth of flavor, along with the Dijon mustard. So now when you stir it, go ahead and taste it. Sandy, have you added pickle juice, honey?
I'm getting ready to.
I can show you mine that I made. It's half of it. I needed more
Okay.
ham, so I'm going to buy some more and add it. But I put pickle juice. I was challenged. I only have a 4-cup food processor, so to get all the ham, so I was taking it in and out. That's kind of why I was doing it this morning early. So, but it's delicious. I was like.
But isn't it interesting that it's such simple ingredients? The only thing you have to buy is the deli ham. It's also a great thing to use when you do holidays. Like a lot of traditional meals for the holidays are, a baked ham. When you have leftover ham and you've got that little bit of the sweetness, you know how we put the cloves and the brown sugar on ham and all that when you dress it. It's delicious in here, even with that little bit of sweetness from the leftover ham. So if you ever cook a ham, save some leftover and make a ham salad. It's really good. Okay, so how is it, Jill?
Elsie has a
Magda?
question.
Okay, Elsie, sorry, honey, I didn't see you. Go ahead.
Well, 2 things. I had to do mine in like 3 batches because I just have a 4-cup food processor, but that worked fine. And on the pickle juice, it's some of your sweet pickle juice or a dill pickle juice?
Sweet, whatever
Still
pickles you
sweet.
used. Yeah, yeah, that's a good question. Thank you, Linda. If it's sweet pickles, use the same pickle juice. If you want it tart, you don't want that little bit of sweetness, a true ham salad, which they make a lot in Eastern Europe, has the sweet pickles and the sweet pickle juice. Okay, not the dill. But my older son, when I used to make it, even when they were little, didn't like the sweet. He wanted the dill. So I had to make 2 batches, some with each kind of the pickles. You know what that's like, Tracy.
Yeah, can I make a serving suggestion? If you guys
Yes.
don't want to eat bread, you know what? It tastes really good on lettuce. So you can do like a lettuce wrap,
Yes.
and that would be delicious. Like a really nice red leaf or green leaf lettuce. Romaine would be too
Right.
stiff to fold over, but a red
I
leaf or
use butter. I
right.
use butter lettuce.
Oh, I
Oh,
love
butter
wrap.
lettuce, little gems. I buy little
Yeah.
gems at the farmer's market all the time. Those are really
Good
good.
point. Good point. Yes. But they do make great wraps, especially for the summer, because you can make this in advance and have a quick lunch or dinner and not have to be cooking in a hot kitchen because your ham is already cooked from the deli. Of course, if you were going to cook your ham, you would have a hot kitchen, but I don't do that in the summer. Okay, so comments. Jill, you said it was good?
It's good, and I love Tracy's idea of the lettuce wraps. We could also probably use your white egg wraps that you have as a recipe
Yes.
today.
That came out today, right? Was that in
Yes.
today's
Yes.
newsletter?
Today.
Yep,
And
it was.
Dr. G, you encouraged my child of the past to get really into this recipe because I had a grandma who had a pool room when I was a little girl, and she would make ham salad, and the boys couldn't wait to come buy a ham salad sandwich from her. So
Wow.
and it was a Betty Crocker recipe. And so when I tried
Right.
this, it was like, holy moly, it's so close to my grandma's. And as to MSG and all that stuff, I was blessed because my mom was watching the magazines in the 70s and I had asthma. And she said, no more MSG. I know you like to go to Chinese, but you will ask for it without it. And so I feel really blessed that, for over 40 years, I've paid attention to those things.
Cool.
Well,
Dr.
and
G, if you cut your
and
hair,
being
it's beautiful. Did you cut?
no, I've got it up in a bun because it was a bad hair day and I was worried it was going to look awful.
It looks so flattering on your beautiful face.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be kind of weird, but
No.
thank you. It was just a bad hair day. Kind of a rough weekend. Okay, so somebody else had a comment. Magda, how does it taste? You're a good taste tester here.
It's delicious. I really like it. And I put it on, I made some crackers last week and I put it on there and it's very good.
You made your
Now-
own crackers?
It's easy.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Okay, I think you need to
Okay.
share a recipe.
I think you need to share it, Magda. Okay. Now, the other thing is if you sprout, because I know I've had a communication back and forth with Magda about sprouting, mix the sprouts in it as well. It changes the whole flavor. Yeah. I mean, don't just think, oh, I've got to put sprouts on the top, or if it's a sandwich, or like a wrap, like Tracy was saying. Yes, I'm trying the egg white wrap tomorrow, Tracy. I'll stay tuned.
So I have an update for you guys. You guys are the only ones that can hear this, but you can also use regular eggs. So 4 eggs equals a cup. So if you do 4 eggs, then it equals a cup of eggs. So then it's a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of xanthan gum.
So using the whole egg.
You can do either. I
can.
tested the eggs yesterday and it works.
Okay, good. It works. Okay, well, good. I'll try it both ways because I'm anxious to try those. That's a great suggestion. Okay, we've got Magna on the hook here. She's going to have to share a cracker recipe. And okay, Sandy, how is it, dear? Did you finish it?
I did. I used dill
And?
pickles. I used dill pickles
Okay.
in it and juice, and it's very good.
Is it?
Yes,
Okay,
it
good.
is. I may have got
Jill,
a
what
little
did you?
bit. I might have got a little bit too much mayonnaise because I tried to cut it down. It's only me, so
Okay.
Oh,
So
one
it's just a
more thing.
little juicier.
I'm
Yes.
sorry. You just said a magic word, Sandy. Mayo. Okay,
Yeah.
please.
I use the avocado mayo.
Right on. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
My
That's what I
husband,
use.
like if he goes to the store, he always buys Best Foods, but now he wants me to
Oh.
change his lunch. So he wants me to start making him sandwiches. So I used my avocado oil mayo because I refuse to use Best Foods. And
Me
so
too.
we'll see if he notices a difference. But yeah, you guys, canola oil, be careful with checking
Oh.
all your labels for salad dressings, mayo, and always, always buy something without canola or soybean. Avocado oil is best, or even olive oil. I've made my own mayo with olive oil.
Yes, I have too. It's very good with olive oil. You're right.
This
Is there
Thank
a
you, Tracy.
taste difference in
And
that
we've done a whole
avocado
show.
mayonnaise?
What was that?
Is there a big taste difference in avocado mayonnaise?
No,
Because
I
I
don't
went
taste
to
a
buy it
difference
one
at
time
all.
and I was afraid it was going to ruin my salad, and I was having people over and I didn't want it to taste like it's
no,
not
No.
supposed to taste.
no.
No,
I've
I've
served
al-
it and nobody can tell.
No,
Mm-mm.
okay.
I've
try
always used the Best Foods, and I'm changing to the avocado.
Well, I was raised on
me.
Best Foods or Hellman's
Yeah.
because it's the same company.
Me
Yeah.
too.
And I
There's
couldn't
some in
figure
my
out, and I
cupboard.
love mayo, and I couldn't
I
figure
do
out why I
too.
used to get heartburn if it had too much. Well, it's the
Come here.
canola oil. I can't tolerate any of those bad oils, but didn't know that that's what was causing the heartburn or the indigestion. So I don't have that problem when I use it. No, I only buy avocado. Okay, Jill.
Okay, so
question?
Linda had her hand raised.
Oh,
Our Linda,
sorry.
and
Yeah,
then Nancy.
I figured that was the best way to go. I did compare Best Foods mayo, which my husband buys, and Best Foods also has the olive oil, and immediately you see that's half the fat content, and of course different ingredients. So this ham salad and your chicken salad and our albacore tuna salad is going to be what I will do for a Mother's Day brunch in my backyard.
Oh, cool.
I just think
All
it's great.
right.
And I also am surprised that the Greek yogurt that was on the recipe for the chicken is wonderful.
It is. You don't have to use mayo.
And don't have to
right.
even use mayo. So I'll use those two recipes for sure for this
Well, thank you for
event.
for reminding us, because I forgot about the Greek yogurt. But yes, if you
Yeah,
don't
the
use,
Greek
you know,
yogurt.
I could find veganese or veganese, whatever you want to say, with olive oil, but I haven't been able to find it lately. So that's another option, but I don't want canola oil. So I like switching it up, but I don't know if any of you can find it, but make sure you learn to read the labels, because Tracy and I have done, I have a flyer that we've given out, and we've done a show on the bad oils. So don't use any of the oils that Tracy just mentioned. It should be avocado oil, coconut oil. You can use, I'm going blank, olive oil. Yeah. But don't use any of the plant extracts. Yes.
Okay, so
was
Nancy
that,
has a
Tracy?
question. Nancy.
I used veganese, but it was grapeseed oil. Is that bad or?
No, that's okay.
Okay,
That's okay.
It's good with it. So
It's good. Okay, yeah. Now, see, you found it with grapeseed. In our stores, we're starting to see a lot of scarcity. The shelves are loaded in some things and completely empty in others. And so I
Yeah.
don't know if that's you're finding the same. I mean, there's things that I don't even use that and it's loaded, and other things that I use all the time, there's nothing on the shelves. And the different mayonnaises is one of them. I have a coconut almond creamer that I use for my coffee that's amazing instead of cream. Haven't been able to get it in 3 months, and they said they don't think they can get it. So I don't know if it's because the coconut's imported or what, but we're having issues with supply already. So
Yeah, we are
be
too.
aware. Learn to read labels. as Tracy has said. You can't just pick it up and assume it's going to be a good oil. Read the label. I'm going to emphasize that again in one of our shows and give you some handouts to help guide you. Somebody else have a question or a comment?
Ronnie.
Yes.
I have a question. Linda, you were saying that you use the Best Food mayonnaise with the olive oil. There is one out there, or
when I shopped online, and Best Foods has and it looks like a lot of companies have new lines that they've opened up for other options. And actually, I did purchase the
So it had olive oil.
olive
is
oil,
what she's asking,
yeah.
right? Okay.
And then
Okay.
or it was avocado oil. I just need to look. But
Go get it,
That's
Linda.
okay.
I'll go get it.
Either one is, yeah. Go get it. It's a
Hey,
good
yeah, I have
point.
a brand
Okay.
new Best Foods. I can take it back to the store and tell them my husband got the wrong one.
Yeah, please.
Exactly. I've done that. Yeah. I'm not gonna
Because I
keep
was gonna
something
make
that,
chicken salad, and that's what I use. But even my tuna, like when Dr. Gloria was saying, I love the sweet pickles with the pickle juice. And other than that, I hate sweet pickles. Only in the tuna. And if you don't add the juice, it's no good.
It's not the same. Yeah. Okay. Ronnie's got a good point, and it just reminded me of
oil.
Olive oil.
It's olive oil. Okay, good.
100% olive oil.
Yes.
Okay.
But I'll have to tell you, I got a lot of substitutes when you order online and you pick it up, they put it in your car. Then I look at the receipt online and they did a lot of substituting. So it's not even best brand. So I'll have to do some, but it is 100% olive oil. So
but that's what they're doing, because we ordered online and we don't allow substitutes. We check online.
I should have said
we'll
no substitutes, but I figure if it's one or two things, it's okay. I'll survive.
Yeah. You'll survive. Okay, so
ready
thank you for looking that up, Linda. Ronnie, you had a comment. I'll get to you in a minute, Jill. Ronnie, you had a comment that spurred something else in me that I wanted to say about this recipe. The same exact ingredients, whether it is sweet pickles or dill pickles, can be used, and I use the same one exactly for my tuna, my canned tuna, and my canned salmon. And it's amazing. I have people that don't like salmon. I can't believe somebody wouldn't like salmon, but that doesn't like salmon. And if I make it, you don't. And if I make it into a salad, oh, okay, well that's different. If you make it just like you do this, you don't like it. And you add exactly the same ingredients. You don't need another recipe. You don't even know that it's salmon. It's that good. The only difference is when I do fish, and you might want to make a note of this, I always add dillweed, dill, the spice dill. If you have fresh dill like Tracy does, you just cut it and chop it. But you add the dill, and the dill not only gives it that nice kind of a tart flavor, but it takes away a lot of the fishiness from the salmon and the tuna. So that's why I use a lot of dill, and it makes it really good. Same recipe, just add dill. When you fresh is always best, but I don't have a garden here, so I use the organic dried dill.
Jill has her hand up.
Okay, so
Go ahead, hon.
Dr. G started to ask me what pickles I used. I did bread and butters to
That's what we did.
Because
I did too.
Yeah, I like a dill, but I share it. So I made the bread and butter, and it's really delicious. And so then I mixed both my veganese and an avocado oil stuff for my 3/4 cup. And it's really delicious with the mixture.
Cool.
Oh, good. Okay, I hadn't done that. Good deal. Yeah, we use bread and butter because that's my favorite pickles. We go through jars, big jars of bread and butter pickles. And so I just have to be careful because of the sugar. Remember, bread and butter has sugar. So you have to be careful. So that's why I make my own pickles so many times. But recently I haven't had time. I don't eat them like that. Brian can go through a jar of pickles that's like this huge jar in like 4 days, which is horrible. because it's
Wow.
high in salt and high in sugar. But for a kidney patient, he shouldn't be having them. But
Yeah.
I can only say so much. He's my business partner. I can't baby him any more than I have. Okay,
Tracy, I have an
comments?
update, Tracy, on the olive oil brand, Best brand. It is not 100% olive oil.
It's canola. Do they add canola or soybean?
Let me read it. It has olive oil, canola oil, soybean oil, those
Ooh.
3 oils.
So
There
I'm
you
going to
go.
tell you guys something. There is such a fraud when it comes to food labeling. And we've talked
Oh.
about that a little bit, but
Mhm.
please, you guys, don't read the front of the label, read the back, because they are able to get away with so much garbage you can't even believe it. There's so many laws. It's not about protecting the consumer, it's about protecting the companies. And if you don't think that's accurate, you need to do some research, because the FDA is the same thing. It's not about the consumer, it's about the big business. So
Well,
just,
and I've taught that all my
Yeah.
life. Yeah, didn't we do a thing on MSG? The aliases, the legal aliases on MSG?
we made a
We did a
graphic.
card on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
we
made a
just haven't.
graphic that I use when I teach. We haven't done it yet. Okay. So everybody happy with their ham salad? Thumbs
Yes.
up? Okay, perfect. Thank you. Now, the pudding. Did you, let me switch gears here. Did you put your chia seeds in overnight at all? It's such a simple pudding. It's almost embarrassing to give you the recipe, but it is 2 tablespoons of chia seeds, 1 cup of milk alternative. Now, I used my coconut creamer. I cheated that I told you that I am running out of because I had a stash. It's half coconut cream and half almond milk. And I think you could make it yourself that way, because that's what it is, half and half. And then they add some stevia in the one that I buy. And then 1 tablespoon of raw organic unsweetened cocoa powder. And to me, that is the Guittard, Guittard, is the very best I have ever found, except bringing it from Italy. It tastes just like the one I used to buy in Italy. It is such a deep, rich. Tracy, have you tried the Guittard?
Mhm.
You have? It's in a red metal can. It's amazing. You can get it on Amazon. My store doesn't carry it. It's a really thick flavor, very rich. And I use roughly a tablespoon or 2, depending on how chocolatey you want it. It's the same chocolate I use for my avocado chocolate mousse. Only I use like 3 tablespoons if I use 2 avocados. Same one. There's no sugar in it. It's raw, it's organic, and it's absolutely amazing. So then use your stevia, and then you use 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. You can add a tiny bit more if you want. And then whatever fresh fruit you have, if you want to add fresh fruit. I only add fresh strawberries if they're organic and when they're in season, because I can't do a lot of other berries because of my blood sugar. And you can add chopped nuts. I have to grind them, so I grind them in a coffee grinder and sprinkle them on top, which makes a delicious flavor, but it also makes a nice decoration. And then you can put coconut flakes on top. So what you do, remember, it's that simple. You mix it all up. I did mine by hand, not in the blender like someone mentioned. Put it in the refrigerator, make sure it's well whipped together. Let it sit for a few hours, preferably overnight. And then if you want it to be more of a mousse rather than have the little chunks of the chia seeds, because the chia seeds expand and grow and get soft. If you want it more of a mousse, you take half of it and you gently pulse it into a food processor. Then you can layer it with fruit and coconuts or nuts, or it's really pretty in a glass, like for Mother's Day, Linda. You can layer it, put I like the chopped nuts because I think it's easier to eat without so many different, textures. And then some coconut if you want, or whatever else you want to put in it, strawberries, raspberries, whatever you have. And then put some more on top, and then top it with nuts and maybe some homemade whipped cream. So it's that simple. How many of you have made it? Was it the first time you made a chia pudding and did it overnight like that? No?
Yes.
Jill, have you done it before? You have. Linda, Elsie? Have you made it before?
First time.
And?
Well, I haven't
What did you
tasted it
think?
yet. I haven't tasted it yet.
Oh, you
Mine-
haven't?
No, I'm gonna try putting it in some of it in the food processor. I didn't do that because it seems a little runny. Well, no, it's not
See?
too bad. No, it's not too bad.
No, I find it runny when I put it in the food processor. Oh, there's Jill.
Okay.
Oh,
Now
looks
see
good.
that, and Jill, is it
That's good.
coagulated, Jill? Is it
Oh,
Is
it's
it
beautiful.
like a
Yeah,
thick pudding?
yeah.
Did you blend some or did you put it,
No.
just leave it the way you mixed it?
I did it. I
Just
did
the way it
just
was.
what you said. Same amount of liquid. I was telling my brother about it last night because he's been a vegan for a long time, and I said, you know, I'm making chia pudding tonight. I've done it before, but never chocolate because I wasn't crazy about it. But I said I'm gonna try it, and he goes, "Oh, good for you. I might have to get your recipe." So it was fun.
Have you tasted it?
I'm going to
Have you
right
tasted
now.
it? I want you to right now. Sandy, have you done it, hon? You're the
No,
one that
I
didn't do
haven't.
it. Okay, you didn't.
Right.
Okay, you don't have the recipe. And Tracy?
I just want to give one tip for anybody who wants to play with things. So as you know, I try to get in lots of protein to support my workouts. So what I do is instead of the chocolate, I use chocolate protein powder. It gives it a little bit different flavor, but it's to me, it's like two bangs for a buck, right? Like I'm having my chocolate treat, which I love, and I love chia seeds. They're so good for you. And then you do the chocolate protein, so then you get more protein. So you may like it, you may
That's a
not.
great-
I'm used to it.
Yeah, I like it once in a while, but I have so much protein already in my powders and stuff that I don't want it in my pudding. but it's delicious. You're right. It does change the flavor, but it's delicious. So, and you could even use that. And if you wanted it a little more chocolatey and you have the chocolate protein powder, put a little bit of the guitar chocolate in it just to make it a little more chocolatey. And you're still getting, like Tracy said, you're getting more bang for your buck because you're getting the extra protein. So that's a great suggestion. So I was asking somebody, Magda, had you made chia pudding like that before?
No, I haven't. I use chia seeds in my overnight oats though, and I love that. Or in smoothies.
Okay, did you make this one?
No, I didn't. I will sometime this week probably because I didn't have all the ingredients.
Okay, fair enough. Anybody else make it? No? Did you enjoy having a couple of easy ones? You don't have to do a lot of cooking because we didn't know what was going to happen. And Tracy's genius mind
Linda's
did the
like,
two things
yes.
with the eclipse, which was great. That was kind of fun. Thank you for that moment of brilliance. That gun
It
spark,
wasn't on
Tracy.
purpose. It didn't become on purpose until about a half an hour before the show. So I just said,
Oh,
oh,
really?
this works.
This'll
No,
work.
I just,
Yeah,
at first we were
okay.
gonna do the chia seed pudding and then we thought, well, gosh, that's gonna be so quick. We gotta add something else that's simple. So I
Right.
will tell you, be careful of the chia seed pudding because it is so honking good that like I'm the type, like when we made, so you guys, if you haven't seen this recipe, the avocado pudding that we did when we first started WoW Can Cook is so good. So try it. But I'm the type that if there's something like that in the refrigerator, I have a hard time staying out of it. So
Oh, yeah. See, no, I'm pretty disciplined because of the blood sugar, but I know what you're saying. It's habit forming. It really is. I make it every week.
Wow.
Every
You
week.
do?
And yes, I did it last night and no, Saturday night. And when we ordered groceries, we always order 4 avocados, 2 to eat, like with breakfast, and 2 for my pudding. Always. They were so huge that my little food processor, like Tracy has, that I think is what, 4 cups or 3 cups, wasn't big enough. I had to make it in 2 batches. And one other hint, I had patients of mine saying, well, we can't do cream, and you can use heavy cream, or you can do what I did with the coffee creamer. Use half coconut creamer and half almond milk, and it comes out amazing. It's rich, it's thick with your same cocoa powder, little bit of vanilla, and your sweetener, your stevia, and you're done. That's all you need. Blend it up until it gets thick, throw it in the refrigerator, and you're done. Jill?
All right, so I just wanted to say that I substituted my monk fruit, just a tiny bit of that for my sweetener. And I love it because it reminds me of tapioca. So
Yeah.
people that aren't
does.
crazy
Uh-oh.
about tapioca, be
tapioca.
sure you blend it.
Yeah, I do too. I was raised on tapioca pudding. I
Me too.
love it.
Mm.
You're right. It does remind you of tapioca. Thank you. I forgot. That gives me a childhood memory there.
There you
So again, get creative. If you can't do dairy, I'm okay with the rich. I wish I had what Tracy has, because I used to have that in Idaho. But you know, I can't buy all the time the fresh heavy cream here that's organic. So I buy just, I'm sorry, it's organic, but it's not fresh from the farm like I used to be able to get. And so I buy the heavy cream for my coffee, but I loved this coffee creamer that I can't get anymore. So I just bought the two things myself, coconut cream and almond milk, and it really comes out amazing. So you can cut out that dairy, because remember that cow dairy causes mucus and phlegm. And I can tell you that because I've always got the phlegm when I'm eating the heavy milk, you know, the heavy cream, where the coconut and the almond don't do that. So that's another hint. Remember that. Goat milk doesn't cause phlegm and mucus. Cow's milk does, no matter
What
what
about
form it
if
is.
it's raw?
What? The regular cow's
Raw.
milk?
Yeah, the raw.
Still causes mucus and phlegm, because the protein molecule is 5 times bigger than goat milk.
Oh, okay.
So
That's
it
good.
doesn't matter. It's healthier. You're right. It's healthier, but it doesn't stop the phlegm from producing. It's the protein molecule. So you
Okay.
get that, you know, that phlegm in the back of your throat, and that's from the cow's milk. Doesn't matter if it's raw or not. Yeah, I love raw goats. Well, I used to get raw goat's milk because I had goats, and cow's milk because I was in the country with Amish and Mennonite people. And so we all did bartering, and you know, the farmers market was amazing because they're fabulous cooks and they're homesteaders. So I learned
Yeah.
so much from them. They really walk their talk. They really do. Okay, any questions, comments? It looks like it is getting darker outside. It's interesting. I just noticed.
Okay,
Then
so
it's
what do
getting
we have
darker.
up next week?
Next week we have oh God, here you go again. You're asking me when I didn't pull it up.
Cucumber salad with peanut dressing.
Okay, so that's
Ooh.
just going to be a salad, and it's delicious.
Okay, I'll
and
add
again,
that to Mother's Day.
Mother's
like that
Day,
one.
and it's easy. So, and remember that, just remember, Linda, that obviously you know that make sure that people don't have peanut allergies. I served it one time and didn't even think about it because it was in with some rice vinegar, and I didn't think about it. And, you know, a person that had a peanut allergy barely tasted it and started getting a rash. So just be careful with peanuts.
Do any of you guys have a peanut allergy?
No.
No?
No?
Okay,
Okay.
good.
Okay, good. Good. All right. Well, we're going to cut out early because of the eclipse as well. If you don't have any other comments, thank you all for being here. God bless, stay safe, and we will see you on WoW on Thursday, but it'll be at 1 Central, hearts to you too, and we will be second part of our homesteading and canning and preserving and all of those tricks that we can use to make sure that we always have what we need and not have to depend completely on the grocery stores, and definitely want to sprout. So do you have any sprouts in your trays yet? Do you?
I just
Tracy?
cleaned them out. I've had them. I've already had 2 rounds, but I just cleaned it out over the weekend, so I need to start from scratch.
Is that the quilts? You had the
Yeah.
quilts?
Yeah, those are my favorite.
Okay, so Yeah, they won't sprout before Thursday. You're right. And
might.
I don't have any right
If
now.
I
but
do
I've
them right
started.
now, they might. We'll see. I'll get them started.
It'd be fun. It'd be fun to
Okay.
see them if they start sprouting out, kind of like, several people showed. Okay, if there's no questions or comments, thank you all for participating and supporting us. God bless, and
Thank
we'll see
you.
you next Monday,
Go
if not on
Sandy.
Thursday.
Go
Okay.
Sandy.
Thank you.
Everyone. Love
care.
you.
Bye, Sandy.
Bye,
Bye.
thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.